Okay, let's give it a bit here, give it a few seconds. All right. So what if you could be a part of a digital revolution that democratizes social media, giving users unprecedented control and ownership? And you didn't need to be a tech insider to back the platform poised to challenge the likes of X, Facebook, and Instagram. Today, you'll discover Bluesky, a decentralized social network that's growing exponentially, led by visionary women founders who are rewriting the rules of online communication. Learn how Alumni Ventures identify Bluesky as a breakthrough opportunity in a $3.3 trillion global social media market, offering individual investors a chance to join a technological and cultural shift that puts power back in the user's hands. So if you're ready to explore this opportunity, you're going to see a few QR codes on your screen today. Scan any of them to get more information, or you can visit av.vc to connect with our team and get something rolling. So now, let's pass the baton over to Sophia so she can get us started.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia Zhao, partner at Alumni Ventures, and I'm so excited to be here and share the story of how we back Bluesky, a company that's building a world without Caesars. Before we get started, I'd like to share that we're speaking today about Alumni Ventures and our views of the associated investing landscape. This presentation is for informational purposes only and is not an offer to buy or sell securities, which are only made pursuant to the formal offering documents for the fund. And here are the rest of the legalese. So please allow me to quickly introduce myself and share my journey into venture capital. My background is in finance and startups, where I work with a ton of CXOs and entrepreneurs in the capacity of corporate banking, capital advisory, BD, and operations. These experiences has taken me around the world on cross-border opportunities, whether it's fundraising from Silicon Valley in Asia, BD in South Africa, and institutional partnership with LATAM and EU. I am very humbled to have learned a lot from smart people and built my own pattern recognition over the years, mostly revolving around recognizing great leaders and what it takes to build a great company. I joined Alumni Ventures Blockchain Fund in 2021 after spending a few years in the Web3 space. I worked at Galaxy Digital, Huobi US, and Crypto.com. As part of my job, I personally also enjoy being plugged into hackathons, accelerators, tech clubs such as Techstars, Yale's Innovation Center, Ethereum Global, etc. I'm educated in both Canada and the US, and I graduated from Yale School of Management in 2017. Something fun about me is that I love nature and I love growing herbs and edible flowers for food decoration. So for today's agenda, we'll start with the Bluesky opportunity, why this matters, and what makes it so unique. Then I will share with you how we discover Bluesky. We'll talk about the leaders, Jay and Rose. They are two incredible women with very different but complementary superpowers. And from there, we'll get into signals that told us this wasn't just hype, but real product market fit. We'll explore the massive market Bluesky is aiming for, how we approach the investment, and what we learned along the way. And finally, we'll end with some reflection and an invitation to join the movement. So now picture this. It's March 2025. A young CEO walks onto the stage at the South by Southwest. She's wearing a black t-shirt with the bold Latin text, Munda Sine Caesaribus, which means a world without Caesars. And it wasn't just a fashion flair. It was a direct shot at Mark Zuckerberg. Because at Meta's annual event in 2024, Zuckerberg had worn a custom shirt with the Latin phrase, out Zack, out nihil, meaning all Zack or all nothing. So Jay's t-shirt represents an open world, one built on freedom and decentralization, while Zuckerberg's t-shirt symbolizes a worldview of dominance and control. So these shirts are battle flags of two radically different social apps. For years, users have felt boxed in by the one-size-fits-all approach of traditional social platform, where a single company decides what content gets shown, what gets removed, and how conversations are ranked. That lack of transparency and choice has led to growing frustration, mistrust, and ultimately user fatigue. Bluesky flips that model by giving user a choice, not just over their content, but on how their experience is shaped. You can decide what kind of content you do or do not want to see, choose your own moderation services. You can host your own server, or you can use Bluesky server. And if one day you don't want to use Bluesky anymore, you have the option to quit and take your social cluster with you. So how are users able to do that? Well, Bluesky is built on something called the Authenticated Transfer Protocol, or AT protocol. It's a decentralized open source framework for social apps like Bluesky, and it allows users to, one, own their identity, like their handles and profiles. You can own your identity across apps. Two, you can move your data, data meaning your posts, follows, etc. You can move your data freely between platforms. And three, you connect users on different apps built within the same protocol. So as you can imagine, this is a huge differentiator because all of the above give users more control over their data. It helps apps integrate and interoperate, and you avoid being locked into a single platform. So fun fact, Bluesky was originally started by Jack Dorsey, who was a co-founder of Twitter. And Bluesky was later spun out as an independent company. And now it's led by two exceptional women executives. Jay Graber is Bluesky's CEO. She's uniquely qualified to lead this shift. She's a software engineer with early research into decentralized social networks, and she was actually handpicked by Jack Dorsey to start building what would eventually become Bluesky. And she actually decided to push Bluesky to spin out as an independent entity long before Twitter exchanged ownership. That was really bold and visionary. She was not following the trends, she was shaping them. And in a poetic twist, her Chinese name, Lan Tian, literally means blue sky. And alongside her is COO Rose Wang. She's a dynamic operator with roots in both entrepreneurship and user-centric design. And before Bluesky, she co-founded Chirps, a sustainable protein startup that landed on Shark Tank. And she was named to Forbes 30 under 30. And Rose brings a mix of startup grit and strategic thinking, and she's definitely instrumental in growing Bluesky's community, especially as it scales internationally. So together, Jay and Rose are not just building a company, they are shaping the next chapter of the internet and leading a cultural shift. So how did Bluesky land on our radar? It wasn't some glossy pitch deck that was sent out in a big fundraising blast. It was actually through a catch-up call with a VC friend who was also an investor of Bluesky. So upon learning that I'm backing decentralized tech and that I'm rooting for women leaders for both our blockchain fund and women's fund, my friend shared that, hey, have you seen this new social app that's taking off? It's woman-led, it's growing like crazy, it might be worth a look. Well, I have to admit that initially I was quite skeptical because to me, anyone taking a big swing at the social media giants gets both an applause and a raised eyebrow. Then we met Jay and Rose over Zoom and learned more about the vision, the tech, and the traction. Bluesky has a clear technical foundation, the AT protocol, and a vision that resonated, which is user ownership, user control, and user choice. The Bluesky team was shipping really fast, iterating really fast, and gaining traction organically, which brings me to the next slide. As VC, we're always hunting for that pivotal moment when a startup stops pushing and starts getting pulled by demand. It's the difference between rolling a rock uphill and watching it roll downhill on its own. So product market fit isn't just about growth, it's about the right type of growth. Because we want to know, is this happening because of relentless marketing spend, or are customers organically demanding more? On the right-hand side of the slide is a slide out of Bluesky Series A deck. When Jay walked us through it, we went, wow. In April 2023, Bluesky had about 30,000 users. And at the time of our initial conversation with Bluesky, it had about 10 million users. And one of the key inflection points at that time included when Brazil court banned X, and the Brazilian president Lula publicly endorsed Bluesky as his go-to app. Then Bluesky saw a surge of 2 million new users in a month. So this has a few important implications. First, it showed that demand for open, decentralized social media isn't limited to the US. Second, it proved that Bluesky can scale quickly and organically when there is a compelling moment. The Brazil spike wasn't from a marketing push. It was grassroots. It was a user-driven migration. And lastly, this moment underscores Bluesky's potential to become a true global network, especially in countries where users are seeking not just for better features, but a fundamentally different mode of ownership and governance online. And not to mention, at that time, with that 10 million user mark, the daily active user reached about 5 million, which is a clear indication that there's strong stickiness. And then later, by December 2024, after the US election, the total number shot up to 25 million. And as of today, they have over 36 million users and growing. Again, this growth is not driven by ad or paid campaign. It was all organic, viral, and fueled by real user demand. The product market fit in action, when you stop pushing and start pulling, is definitely here. The product is resonating and the culture shift is happening. So at this time of the conversation, we were definitely very interested to partner with Bluesky and emphasize our value add to Jay and Rose. At Alumni Ventures, we bring a powerful network of over 800,000 community members, over 10,000 accredited investors, and a portfolio of 1,500 plus companies. And we position ourselves as a growth engine, connecting startups with early users, talent, partners, and distribution channels. And our CEO services team plugs startup into exactly the right node of the network to help accelerate the trajectory. And that is the value we bring to the table. And it definitely resonated with the Bluesky team. So after the meeting, we continue our diligence and looked at the big picture and the competitors. So for Bluesky, we see it as a blue sky opportunity because the global social media TAM is projected to hit 3.3 trillion by 2029. So huge. And I'm sure many of our audience use at least one of the centralized social apps like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So these centralized social apps are like gated communities. You can't follow someone on TikTok from your Facebook account. And if you leave Instagram, you lose your followers, you lose your the posts that you saved, and you have to start all over again somewhere else. So players like X and Threads represent this old guard of centralized control, while Bluesky is pioneering something fundamentally different. In the traditional model, users are essentially renters of their digital identities, and where platform owns everything, your data, your followers, your content. And for Bluesky, it flipped this completely. Users own their identity. You can port your social graph across different apps built on the AT protocol. And if you want to leave platform, well, you can take your community with you. It's the difference between renting an apartment and owning your home. On X or Threads, the platform decides what you see through a black box algorithm designed for the profit, not for your interest. And on Bluesky, you choose from a marketplace of feeds and moderation tools. So overall, it's not just a platform shift. Bluesky is proposing a new foundation for how we are interacting online. So for us as an investment team, we realize we're not really just investing in a company, we're investing in a future of digital freedom. So after that first Zoom call, we wanted to go deeper. Rose came to our Menlo Park office on a beautiful sunny afternoon. We had coffee and we talked about our shared Bluesky vision, and we knew we were aligned. Then we aligned with Blockchain Capital, the Series A lead, and it has a stellar track record in Web3. And we spoke with our GP, King Zhao, and that provided additional confidence. So co-investing alongside respected lead investors like blockchain capital is a key part of our investment strategy. We regularly engage with other investors to share deal flow, compare notes, exchange insights. And when a round is led by a top tier firm with deep domain expertise, we see it as a valuable opportunity to leverage their diligence, perspective, and conviction as a complement to our own. So we closed the investment in October 2024, and within just a couple of months, Bluesky's user base exploded from 10 million to over 36 million. And that trajectory doesn't happen by accident. It happens when timing, product, and team all click into place. So what do we learn from this journey? Well, first of all, that open protocols like AT protocol have the power to transform how we communicate online. Secondly, we are living through a cultural shift away from walled gardens and algorithmic manipulations. We're sailing towards a world of choice, ownership, and community governance. Third, that founder quality matters. JN Rose are real deal. And so does market timing. The dissatisfaction with X and Threads were reaching a boiling point, and Bluesky was ready to come in. And finally, our network model works. It was our community, our relationship, our due diligence process that brought us this opportunity and helped us bring it home with confidence. So here's my invitation to the audience. We would love for you to join us on Bluesky. We've created a Alumni Venture Starter Pack to help you onboard, connect, and be a part of this next generation social layer. So please take out your phone and scan the QR code and join us on Bluesky. Let's build this world together, a world without Caesars. And now, before we wrap up, I do want to share with everyone how we work with our large, diverse group of investors. Let's talk briefly about who our fund is built for. I won't go into all the specifics, but at Alumni Ventures, we partner with a wide range of accredited investors, and we designed our fund to meet the people where they are. For example, you might be a successful professional or executive who wants exposure to high growth private companies, but just doesn't have time to vet every deal. That's what we do for you. We build the portfolio, we manage the process, we get you the opportunity backed by some of the best lead investors in the market. Or you might be an operator or founder. You're someone who understands venture but wants to diversify across sectors and let a trusted team drive the deal flow. You built companies, now you're ready to back the next wave without having to lead the change. We're also seeing many young investors as part of our community, professionals in the 30s or 40s who are just starting to build their exposure to alternatives. And venture is a long-term game, and this is a great way to start planting the seeds in the next generation of market leaders. And of course, we work with enthusiasts who simply want to see the very best deal to include in their broader investment portfolio strategy. So whether you're investing personally through a trust or retirement dollar or through an offshore vehicle, we built this to be frictionless and accessible. Our goal is to make sure that we make world-class venture investing available to anyone who's ready to back bold founders and solve real-world problems. So beyond our tremendous growth, we are extremely proud of our achievements to date, from being a world leader in access to venture capital for individuals, to being recognized as a top 20 VC by CB Insights. We're beyond proud. Please follow us on LinkedIn and engage with our material on our website to learn more about our ever-growing accomplishments. We also want to back companies alongside people who have very strong track record and are well regarded in the ecosystem, because it adds an additional layer of validation and give us even more confidence in our investment. Similar to what I shared earlier about Bluesky, we were very happy to be investing with Blockchain Capital, which is a tier 1 Web3 VC. Ultimately, it's about collaboration. When thoughtful investors come together around a great founder, we're increasing our chance of helping that particular company succeed. So on this slide, you can see a couple of names that we regularly invest with, such as A16Z, Sequoia, Bessemer, Klein Perkins, etc. So if you're ready for the next step, which is to come learn more about Blockchain Fund and the Women's Fund, please go to our website or scan the QR code here. We have a full service team of amazing colleagues that will help you with our fund offering and how to get started. So last but not least, we love to be your venture partner, and thank you for joining us on this masterclass. We hope to bring you more insightful stories going forward, and thank you again for joining us today.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Social media is being reimagined, and this is your chance to be a part of what's next. If you're interested in investing in visionary women-led innovations like Bluesky, don't wait. The deadline to participate in our Women's Fund is June 30th. So scan the QR code or reach out to us today to secure your spot. And as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.